Final Fantasy IV event. Fabul's Royalty. Two new abilities, Ogopogo and Gaia Crush. Ogopogo is a water copy of Tiamat. It's a cat. Yeah, it's really, that's all there is to say about it. You hit 3 times if you have to, you know, you hit the magic threshold. It's just a really good summoning ability. It's one of the abilities that I've been stockpiling summon orbs for, because I know I'm probably going to want to use it. It's pretty strong. Unfortunately, only 3 hits, so the ability upgrade is weird for summoning. I mean, summoning stuff is still going to be extremely powerful for area of effect, but it's pretty bad for single target. Anyway, that's Ogopogo. You know what it does. Gaia Crush is a Earth copy of the Burning Rush ability that we already have. We just got that with the Refia event. And where Burning Rush is bad, even though this is a clone of it, this is not bad because Earth does not have a version of Fires Within. So this is actually the only thing Earth Monks can use other than their burst commands. Ogopogo is a frog? No, it's just a reskinned Leviathan. But the interesting thing about the fact that this is the best 5-star Earth Monk ability is actually pointless because every Earth Monk in the game actually has powerful burst commands that make this ability pretty worthless, just like Burning Rush. So I'll probably be shattering this upon receipt. Meteor Crush is just a 2-hit, and it does not improve to 4-hit in the ability upgrade. So it has a maximum damage potential of too damn low. Meteor Crush is there for the 50% attack buff. That's it. So there's our abilities. New characters: Ursula, Combat 5, Monk 5, Celerity 5. Dagger, Fist, Whips. Hat, Light Armor, Robe, Bracer. Ugh. It's a bad selection of armor, but at least she can use light armor, so it's alright. Low chance for attack to turn into Gaia Crush. That's a terrible RM. Monk damage, 9%. Would prefer Fist Weapon. Would prefer Fist Weapon damage or Earth damage. This is the worst of what she could have gotten. Well, I mean, that's... I just went over that Epic Wander. I said it is the best Earth Monk ability, but all Earth Monks have burst commands that are better than Gaia Crush, so... yeah. Alright, let's see. Legend Dives. More monk damage in Ursula. Again, would prefer that she didn't have monk damage. She had fist weapon or earth damage. So that sucks. Blind resist is fine though. Sayador, night damage 9%. Same deal for him. Don't like ability up damage. And minor confused resist and minor holy resist is a terrible combination. So that's just an all-around bad dive. Not including the Legend Materia. Tella, however, gets BLK damage plus 9%. That is actually good. And double sleep resist, and that is good as well. So, go Legend Dive Tella. Not really, though. Rydia, summon damage 9%. That is good. Both soul breaks and all of the damage that she should be doing. Please don't use anything other than summons on Rydia. It should be summon damage, so that should qualify. And double up on the sleep resist, just like Tella. And Golbez, dark damage. See, he gets elemental damage. He can be a cool kid, unlike Sayador and Ursula. And sleep resist, so Tella, Rydia, and Golbez all have good Legend Spheres. So ailment statuses stack in Legend Dives, yes. Resistances found in the Legend Sphere area are exactly the same as the resistances that you get on accessories. Exactly the same. So they will stack or will not stack with those. Same thing. So the issue over here with Sayador is that the minor holy resist, it actually just won't stack with holy resistance accessories. If you use a moderate holy resist accessory, you get moderate holy resistance, and this gets canceled out. Minor confused resist is very minor. It's exactly what it says it is. So by itself, it's really not anything to write home about. What you're looking for is doubled up status resistance. Because, as you said, status or ailment, whatever, they do stack. So medium and minor combine into something that's actually pretty good. While minor alone doesn't do a whole lot. And minor or holy resist doesn't do a whole lot. So, yeah. It's just bad. Right, that definitely applies to what Will just said. So let's go take a look at their legend materia. Ursula, Sayador. Ursula gets attack plus 2% for each hit dealt with monk abilities up to 50%. That's it's bad. Monk abilities deal 50% more damage. That's good. That's a good LM1. But again, with a bad LM2 and a bad Legend Dive, you can already tell that this character would need some pretty crazy soul breaks for them not to fall flat, really. It's unfortunate. Sayador is next. Percent chance to cast an ability singular restores HP for X% of the target's maximum HP after using a night ability. That's actually pretty cool. But without knowing the percentage of both of those, that sucks. No, I mean, it could be good, but it just sucks that we don't know. Because they're really important. What if that's a 10% chance to cast an ability? Well, then we don't care. It stinks. Night abilities deal 15% more damage. That's fine. Tella. Magic plus X% for each hit dealt damaging black attacks. BLK attacks up to whatever percent. Sucks. BLK attacks deal 10% more damage. It's fine, but LM2 is bad. Rydia. 35% chance to dual cast summoning abilities. Finally, a good LM2. Rydia has good legend spheres and has good legend materia. And Golbez. Grants last stand and sentinel at the beginning of the battle. If it was more useful to have a tank mage in the game, this would be pretty neat. Because this would allow him to run something that I don't see used that often anymore. Lionheart. And he could probably get off like a second or a third turn soul break. And be able to recast soul breaks very often. Just by being his own, you know, Soul Break generation engine with the Sentinel, and the Last Stand protects him. But I don't think that it's really all that useful to have that. So not a huge fan. Raccoon, because someone would have had to have dived the character for them to retrieve the actual mind percentages. Oh, you're back. So you're going to see very often that characters that people don't feel any reason to dive just don't get dived. What are you doing? Why'd you bite me? So let's go take a look at the banners. First banner, we see a uncle and nephew banner. First up, Sayador's USB 10 single target Holy Lightning. And Holy, attack and defense, or attack and resistance plus 30% in Sentinel. It's pretty obvious what this is meant to do. So how is this any better than Warrior of Light or Cecil's version of the USB? Which is just end holy and give me plus defense. Well, first of all, we get Sentinel on this instead of Draw Fire or, you know, X Mode Paladin or whatever. So Sayador gets more defense than the other two as well. Not uncle, but kind of like adopted uncle. I think it's a good USB, honestly. Like, you just can't go wrong with this, I suppose. You life siphon into it, you cast it, and then you immediately start Guardbringer. It really doesn't differ all that much from another USB. You know, the problem here is that USBs, the strength of USBs these days are, you know, for one of two reasons. Either they chase, or they quick cycle, which will bring a 5-star ability's you know, damage potential above what Guardbringer can do, because Guardbringer caps out at not caps out, but has a 4.0 multiplier. So say Titus, for instance. Titus uses a CSB or USB, and then he gets a water chase every time he uses a water ability. So he uses Sapphire Shot with it. And Sapphire Shot is with a ranged weapon, which his USB is, so you're going to be using a ranged weapon, is a 3.8 multiplier over 4 hits. With a chase for, you know, an extra 1.8 multiplier. Well, Sayador uses USB, and then he just uses Guardbringer for 4.0. So 3.8 plus a chase, or 4.0 flat. So think about that. Even when Guardbringer gets buffed to 5 hits, it still has... It's still... This USB doesn't have anything on... I'll call them real USBs. USBs that actually increase your damage potential per turn. Where Sayador is locked at 4 hits. Strong 4 hits. But it's still no fast cast or anything like that. It's just Guardbringer. Unfortunately, not good enough. So not a higher tier USB, AB level. Kane's USB, on the other hand, is, I think, honestly, really, really good. Well, first of all, Sador's sword is holy damage up. Another one of those. Kane's is a little more rare. It is a spear that is plus lightning damage. 6-star, 176 base attack. It's pretty good. You fully augment this and you're getting 206 attack. So that's a damn good relic. Luminous Dragoon, or Luminous Dragon. 10 single target, lightning, non-elemental jump damage, and lightning, self-attack and defense plus 30%, and instant-cast jumps for a period of time. This is a very good USB, and it should be immediately apparent as to why it is a really good USB. Because it turns Kane into a strong target for entrusting. And it doesn't take a lot to figure out why. Instant cast jumps. And the USB itself is jump damage. So it works with itself. If you recast this, it will be instant. So the more Soul Break you can pump into Kane, the more damage he's going to put out in a very, very short amount of time. Consider the way I use Lulu's USB. Does not affect airtime, right? So it's actually better to run Kane as an entrust recipient, because the less you have to rely on Lightning Dive, the less airtime that you need to deal with. Because there's no airtime on his USB, but it is still considered jump damage, so it is instantaneous. So really what you're looking for here is use Life Siphon on Kane, Life Siphon, or get entrusted up to his first cast, and then use his USB whenever possible, but when you don't, then use Lightning Dive. Personally, I think it's insanely powerful. Insanely powerful. Anyway, yeah, what I was saying about Lulu. So Lulu's USB is essentially this exact same thing. Except instead of 10 single target, it's 8 single target. And instead of instant casts things that I do, it's instant casts 2. So what you're required to do with her USB is either on the first or second turn after casting her USB, you need to cast it again. Because you don't want to have to deal with that 2.5 second cast time ever again. That's not a problem with Kane's. You can have 2 turns where you use Lightning Dive instead, because his instant cast jumps last for 15 seconds. It's not turn-based, it's time-based. So you can do whatever you want within that time period before you need to recast his USB to reapply the instant. So it's a lot more flexible. And I like that, because when I was planning out my strategy for using Lulu's USB in the Fenrir fight, it all revolved around entrusting to make sure that she never had to, full cast a USB. And it required a lot of planning. This doesn't. Just entrust him when you can, or use Lightning Dive. So this is great, and here we run into something even better. Is Kane's OSB. Not really all that great until this point, but we see 1 single target lightning non-elemental jump damage. Multiplier scales with number of Dragoon abilities used. I would use Lightning Dive Raccoon because it would be instantaneous. Well, the cast time would be instantaneous. And Lightning Dive has a insane multiplier on it. So the jump timer is fine. Kane's OSB is jump damage, so it would also be instantaneous when you're under his USB effect. So his USB and OSB together are just awesome. Makes him even better for entrusting. The 10 single target would have a maximum damage potential of 100,000, so it would theoretically could be as good as his OSB, but the OSB has a much higher multiplier. USB, I believe, is only 7.1, while the OSB slides, depending on how many Dragoon abilities you've used. But even if it's at its lowest, it'll still be better than the USB. I was right, 7.1. And even at its lowest, his OSB is a 10.5. Well, it's only 2 relics on the banner, Rukos. Don't get ahead of yourself quite yet. Alright. See you, Blender. He sat down for a few this time. Alright, so that's our 3 6-stars on the banner. Not that we know of, Dreamlord. The only banner I believe that Kane's stuff appeared on was a Superfest banner, which is not something that we're going to get. It's possible that we may get a Kane-themed banner for our Winter Festival, but, you know, who knows. Oh, 3rd anniversary, I don't know. Even then, 3rd anniversary is a festival, so who knows. Alright, so into the BSB section, we've got 4 of them to take a look at. Tella's BSB, Party, Magic 30%, Haste, and Quickcast, Magic 3. Those of you with good memories, this is Ley Lines. The difference is this is also on a burst mode. So let's go take a look at what the burst mode is. Already, honestly, I like it. You can't really go wrong with Ley Lines. 4 single target Earth non-elemental and Earth non-elemental. This is a magic bargain, and the multiplier scales with magic. Let's see if we can see where this multiplier goes. Also, this has the worst animation in the game. So this is interesting. At 1200 magic, this hits as hard as Chain Stonega. And he does give himself a magic bargain on his second command. I'll be frank. I like this BSB. I'm not seeing where it goes wrong. And what's Tella got available to him? White Magic 4. So you could also carry, like, Proteka Shelga too. You'd be like an Onion Knight replacement on an Earth team. Alright, well, that's a good BSB. Not, like, Oh, he can dive to white 5. Well, I would say that kind of makes a difference, Matthew Carter. Well, what you could run him as is a healer. If because Kurata is so powerful, it allows people to single target heal fights. Yeah. And I like my buffing healers. So yeah, what Blyven said, Strider. Okay, so, I mean, I like the BSB. I wouldn't want to ever cast it because of the animation, but I would regrettably. Sayador's BSB, we've already seen this one before. Medica on entry, single target cure on Command 1, and single target Asuna on Command 2. Command 2's area of effect attack, but does a single target Asuna on someone with a status effect. I thought it was kind of weird. Good, but weird when we got it. And I thought its effectiveness died out pretty quickly. Maybe we can get a little confirmation on that from other people that use Sayad or that have Sayador's BSB. But I don't think I'd be that thrilled to get this. I think it's probably kind of cool for, yeah, it did. Yeah, that's true. In Kidu. Yeah, I wouldn't be happy about getting this, and I'd probably never use it. Kind of cool in multiplayer. That's what I was gonna say. Kane and his really, really, really old BSB don't care about this at all. There is nothing good about this anymore, now that he has his USB. Normally you would just use this for the Enlightening so he could use Lightning Dive with it, but now the entry is only 4 hits. Not only is it only 4 hits, but it's area of effect 4 hits. This is just bad. Edward's old BSB. It's about just as old as Kane's BSB, isn't it? But much better. Attack 50%, area of effect, Imperil Holy. And the commands aren't really anything to talk about, but the entry is not bad for a certain type of team, which would be a Holy team. So, limited use. Honestly, the only BSB that I would actually be happy about getting here would be Tella's. Yeah, that's it. So, Legend Materia. Sayador, Tella, and Kane. Well, good that Tella and Kane are here. Because they're the two people who have stuff on this banner that I've actually identified that I've liked so far. So let's take a look at these. Medium chance to cover an ally from physical damage and reduce the damage taken by a small amount. Don't really like these LMRs. They're fine. Yeah, I guess they're alright. It doesn't really do a whole lot, I don't think. You can cover someone from area of effect damage. But this is not physical damage, it's PHY damage. So stuff that's designated as NAT would actually just not apply here. I'm just going to verify that statement. Yeah, 30% chance to cover PHY attacks. So, yeah, I don't really care about this at all. Tella's Magus Robe, small duration increase on stat buffs cast by Cell. Also don't care about that. So, unfortunately, Tella does not get an LMR that I really care for. Kane, medium Dragoon, damage up when equipping spears. This LMR also sucks. Because though his USB and OSB may be jump damage, they are not Dragoon damage. They're lightning damage, they're jump damage, they are probably going to be done by a spear, hopefully Longinus. But they are not Dragoon damage. So this does nothing for him. For his strengths as a character. So, wow. Well, that sucks. We're on a bad run right now, I think. Starting at Sayador's BSB, we've just got a whole chunk of shit that I don't care about. Next up, we have Edward's Soul Song. Magic of Mind plus 30% and Quick Cast Magic's 3. This is actually a good Super Soul Break. Yeah, it's actually a pretty nice buff. He turns into a pretty decent Entruster. On a magic team with this. So, that's not a bad super. Next up, we have Tella's super, which is Party Instant Cast 1, Attack and Magic plus 30%, Self-Doom 45. This is also actually a pretty good super. Tella, just strangely enough, is not a bad character. Doom 45 is just a really high Doom counter, so it's not... I mean, we use Memento Mori all the time. I don't remember the last time I lost the character to Memento Mori. Maybe on a multiplayer gone all wrong, where, you know, it lasted forever. But that's it. Jeez, Bond Cancel, that sucks. So the supers aren't bad, but at the end of the day, they're still just supers. And they do take up 2% of the banner, so... So what are we looking at here? Stuff I actually care about. There we go. 3% of the banner. That's it. So we started out really strong. I got myself pretty hyped after looking at Kane's USB-OSB combo. But the banner just fell apart after that. How could you salvage this banner if you have no intention on pulling on holy stuff in the future? But with the quality of holy stuff like Marsh and Orlandu, I would say that a lot of people are. So, but if you aren't, then Sayador's USB might be worth something to you. As well as Edward's BSB, so you can salvage the banner a little bit through that. And I think those combined with the okay supers might be worth a pull or two. But I think since I don't really care much for Edward's BSB or Sayador's USB, the banner's pretty much a easy skip. Easy skip for me. Why are you so restless? You keep jumping up here and then running away. So let's go take a look at Banner 2. Rydia's USB, Golbez's USB, and Rydia OSB. There are 3 6-stars. First off, we get Rydia's USB, 10 single target, water, non-elemental summon damage, and water, and party magic and resistance plus 30%. Every time I look at this USB, I ask myself, is something missing? Well, I mean, I don't have to ask myself. It's actually a pretty easy question to answer. Something is missing. If we look up here, we get Unholy attack resistance plus 30% and Sentinel. And with the 4-hit and eventually 5-hit Guardbringer, I still don't think this is good enough to compete. Iridia's is actually just worse. It's a kind of a side grade because it's party, and I suppose that is supposed to make up for the fact that it doesn't have, you know, Sentinel, something to... It has nothing to boost ability damage beyond the M water. So, Iridia's a summoner. She's already, you know... Hey, no. No. No, why are you being a pest? You're never a pest. You're always like the most gentlemanly cat ever. She's a summoner. She uses Ogopogo as her primary damage engine. So what do you do? Do you USB and then Ogopogo for, you know, maybe 30,000 a turn? This USB just stinks. The issue here, the party magic and resistance plus 30% isn't bad at all. But what does she do from there? You can't just Ogopogo every turn and expect her to be, you know, a considerable source of damage. Yeah, she gets 30% chance to dual cast summons, but there's characters that get a chance to dual cast whatever they're doing. And it's probably going to be better than a summon. They're fine, Psychotic. It's not even... Oh, nice. There we go. Anyway, yeah, it's just the USB sucks. Next, Gigantaxe for Golbez and his USB. 10 single target and dark self magic and self magic and defense plus 30% HP sock 6000. So exactly like Sayador, with a dual buff, but instead of Sentinel, he gets an HP stock 6000. The issue with this is that while Sentinel works to enable his Guardbringer, so he can use a really powerful 5-star ability, which, you know, does something. Golbez's HP stock 6000 doesn't really provide him anything. No, I mean Sayador. I understand that it's like Cecil's, but I'm comparing this to current power creep, which is the first banner. Exactly, Will. If there was a magic version of Crimson or Sanguine Cross, then this would be something. This would be something to talk about. But what it looks like is you're supposed to Legend Dive Golbez. And no, we don't have a magical version of Crimson Cross. So what you really need is his Legend Dive to give him Sentinel at the start of the fight. And so you can Lionheart and get this out pretty quickly. But, I mean, what do you do from there? This is just an underpowered USB. It's not really designed to work with any of the stuff that's currently in the game. Yeah, sure, you could Dire Heal, but why would you Dire Heal when you have an HP Sock 6000 on you? You at least want to use the higher damage ability. Dark Zone instead and rely on the healing from the HP stock. Yeah. Yep, just don't like it. Oh, yeah, he turned away from the camera. Can't see him that well. So, not a real big fan of both of these things right off the bat. And Rydia's OSB is a returner, which I personally believe it is a good OSB. Earth, water, holy damage. She is able to give herself an earth from her BSB. She's able to give herself an water from her USB. So at the very least, she can be, you know, someone you can throw OSBs out from, right? There's an upper limit as to how good that can be. Unless you're someone like, you know, Kane, who instant casts his OSBs. But it has a reduced multiplier, I believe it's 37, so it pays a 10% damage reduction in order to be Tri-Elemental. But it is good that it is Tri-Elemental. So, Rydia can do damage in multi-elements, but she doesn't do it all that well. So there's our 3 6-stars. Nothing that really pops out at me, unfortunately. Right, Epic Wander, probably. So for BSBs, we got Rydia's BSB 2, which I believe is her true strength. 6 area of effect, water, holy summon damage, and peril water in burst mode. So what her burst commands provide her with is a fairly useless second command. I don't really care for this at all. You're spending a turn to ether yourself. I found out really quickly with Alphino's USB that it was rarely ever useful. And it was only really useful for Valley Garmanda during the Final Fantasy II D300 Torment CM, and that was it. That was the only time that I used it. Otherwise, it was just Alphino's Command 1, and we're going to see the same thing here, is that her Command 1 grants her Quick Cast Magic 2. So this allows her to cycle, basically. Or alternate. She Quick Cast Magic 2, and then uses Ogopogo. And then cast Command 1 again at Quick Cast and refresh your stacks. And you keep on doing this and make sure that you get Quick Cast Magic 2 on a recast of BSB. It would just... I think it would be better if this was an N-Water BSB. Because, obviously, this command is meant to be used with abilities. And she has no way to generate a whole lot of Soul Break Gauge, so what do you do? Do you entrust to her? Give her extra Soul Break, and, you know, first time you use the BSB, then you use her first command to give yourself Quick Cast, and then you get entrusted, and then you Quick Cast out another BSB. The issue with this is you're sacrificing damage to gain damage. Yes, it would, Epic Wander, because her entry is 6-time area of effect. The area of effect means the entry is a reduced damage output. So it's not even really a good choice for entrusting to. So really, it's just a water BSB, where she casts it and then alternates between her first command and Ogopogo. Yeah, that's it. It is nice. She can double cast summons. Remember, she is going to do a fair amount of damage with this. This is what I believe is Rydia's best form of damage output. But it's still still not great. As far as, you know, current power creep is concerned, I think it lags behind. Next up, we get our new characters burst, Ursula. 8 single target, Earth, Fire, and N-Earth. Well, it's fine so far. Let's see if the commands are worth anything. They need to be. And here we see that both of them are. Our second command gives herself self-critical 50%, which is kind of neat. And her first command is 4 single target, short cast time. So ninja cast time commands. This is fine. Nothing special. I was thinking in my head that this reminds me of Ayame, but it can't. The reason why Ayame's BSB is good is because the entry is atypical. The entry is, you know, single target, elemental damage, N of the element, and then grants a unique status that gives attack and resistance plus 30%. That's the strength of the BSB. Without that, it just gets lost in the ability upgrade. This is fine, and I will go take a look at the multiplier, but I doubt that it's terribly big. It's just 1.88. And it's just not that good. So just a kind of a plain old BSB going on there. Golbez's old BSB, the Zeramis Shard, plus Dark Rod. Sentinel Self Magic plus 30%. This was kind of cool back when it first came out. And then the game just progressed past it for usefulness. Same thing I have against Golbez and his Legend Dive. Is that Sentinel is just having a tank mage just isn't that useful anymore. And wasting a turn getting his Drain on his command 2 active and enabled is a tough ask in the current power creep that we're in. So let's take a look at Golbez. There's a 10.2 multiplier on his Drain, and Dire Heal, which is getting a buff to 4 hits, is a 10.4. So his burst command, you need to use his first command to even enable his second command to not be as good as a 5-star ability. So, it's unfortunate. 4 single, 2.6. Yeah, so the multiplier doesn't change. It's a 10.4, and it's still better than Golbez's second command. It was really nice back in the day where nothing in the game that did 4 hits also counted as a drain. It was just, it was revolutionary, but the game has progressed past that point, and this is just old. Yang's BSB, probably the best BSB on this banner. 7 single target Earth non-elemental and Earth. Now, unlike Ursula with her just short cast time on 4 hits, Yang instead gets 4 hits and plus 1 hit under Unbound Fury. So his second command does 4 single target Earth and grants Unbound Fury, which is half cast speed. It's exactly what she has, plus a hit. So it does 5 hits and half cast speed. So let's take a look at the multipliers on that. It's also a 1.88, but it gets a plus hit, so it's actually higher than that. So, yeah, that's not even that good. It is half cast time, like 2.3. Better than the 5-star ability at least, but yeah. It's not that good. It's not that good. Best BSB on the banner. No, I'd say Rydia's USB is more useful than this. I think giving yourself defense and resistance minus 40% for half cast speed is a tough ask. You know what? You can use Unbound Fury and then just skip over this crap command and just start using the 5-star monk ability that we got in this event anyway. Because this is just half cast speed. It doesn't have to apply to this. Where Ursula, the half cast time is applied to the command and the command alone. So you could use the 5-star monk ability with this. But is that enough? I mean, it's better than Ursula's, that's for sure. But defense and resistance minus 40% is a big deal. Yeah, I meant her BSB. Anyway, it's not that good. So, Rydia's BSB good. The other three, not really a big fan of. Now let's take a look at the LMRs. Rydia's model is small water damage up on light armor. Yeah, magic and mind. Why does she have mind? Whatever. It's stats for free. Medium chance to self quick cast 1 when using summon abilities, so that's good. It does stack with her command 1 on her BSB. So she can, and a medium chance, I believe, is 30% chance to quick cast 1. So, I mean, it's nothing that great, but it still does something. It's useful for her. It works together with what she does. What am I looking at? Oh, her Legend Material. 35% chance. So that's a good LMR for Rydia. Rydia can actually deal a pretty decent amount of water damage. She's going to be casting pretty quickly, those Ogopogos at least. She's definitely runs into that 30,000 or yeah, 30,000 damage cap, but still, she can dual cast and she can quick cast. It's only a 35% chance, so it's not like a big deal. Anyway, Ursula's dress, 19. Resistance, there's no more elemental armor on the rest of the banner. Low chance to double cast monk ability, so this is good. This is fine. But Ursula is just limited to her BSB for useless, so... And her BSB is not that good. Now, if this was on Yang, and Yang being able to Unbound Fury himself, which, you know, half cast times his 5-star monk abilities, and then he has a low chance to double cast, or 25% chance to double cast them, then we're talking some decent damage going on. But Ursula doesn't get that benefit, so she'd have to double cast her command 1s, which is not that great. Golbez LMR, start battle with Endark. Not that great for him. I mean, first turn with his USB, he's going to be using Memento Mori, so grats. You hit 10,000 damage with Memento Mori. And then 80% damage done on the entry. But other than that, I guess he's going to be using Dark Zone. Really, God, if this would be a good USB if if dark mages just had a way to hurt themselves. And then this would be a good LMR with that. Because then he could start by using, you know, Lionheart as his RM, Memento Mori, and, you know, ability that does not exist to spam and, you know, hurt himself at the start of the fight. And then HP Sock 6000 himself to get himself healed back up. I remember he has Last Stand on his Legend Materia too. Golbus is really just a powerful 5-star ability away from being a good character. Rune Claws, Ursula. So we're into the super section now. Party Medica 40%, Last Stand, and Resistance plus 100%. This is a good super. But it's still just a super. And that's that. Hellclaws Yang. This is a really old super. 6 area of effect and Peril Earth. That's that. It's probably not that bad. Because of, you know, the 5-star abilities that Yang can use in conjunction with it. And he could at least bring Life Siphon into a battle and just Imperil Earth the crap out of a boss. So that's it seems like Ursula's super is better, but I just see more use out of the simplicity of the Imperil Earth that Yang brings. Where Ursula's is just you know, you suddenly remember, holy shit, this super might be useful for this fight. But otherwise, not terribly. Okay, so first banner is better. I see 0 things on this banner that I would consider like S tier level stuff. No characters that could touch that tier. At least on this banner I do. And that would be Kane's USB and Kane's OSB. But the second banner just doesn't have a whole lot of good going for it. And this banner just has a really nice duo at the high end and then a swamp elsewhere. There you go. Final Fantasy IV event. I was more harsh on the second banner than I thought it was going to be. I remember liking that back in the day, but I was looking through the global player goggles and thought that Golbez's things were still going to be good, but they're not. The song is... That was how I felt about these banners. How ironic that it's Kane's stuff on this banner that makes it good. Well, makes it even worth consideration. I really want Kane things to show up on the next festival. My lightning teams need some real help, and Kane's USB would go a long way. I think Kane's USB alone gets a 30-second clear. That's how good I think it is. On Bismarck. Good lemonade. Not really good, but good. Definitely not shit. I wish Sketch the best. It makes me feel bad about banners like this because they take advantage of the fandom pretty hard. Like, oh yeah, you're a fan of Rydia and Golbez? Oh, thanks for the mithril, buddy. At least they gave Rydia a nice USB animation that fans can enjoy. I'm gonna take a look at it right now. Just for anyone who hasn't seen it. It's really good. Yes, he is still in camo pose. I think he's knocked out. He was so excited earlier, and I have no idea why. Did he put himself out of commission? Too good. Rydia sliding down Leviathan. I have a feeling it was meant to be lewd. Yeah, should have her BSB. It's on her bustier. It's just kind of weird if you're running Kidridia. Not gonna lie. It's fine. The whole Asura thing was cool, I guess. What did I come here for? Yeah. Magical water just isn't a thing. Ugh.